So let me share the screen and start our conversation there. So let me put that up in here. Okay. If you have your questions, you can put in the Q&A. And I can answer those. And I try to answer that at the end. But I will see if it is very relevant in the topic where I'm talking. I try to answer while I am talking about it. Okay. So let me share screen. This one. So I hope you guys seeing the screen. So what we put here, rewire your brain, rewire your future. It's just our slogan in Magnimind. And the data science is like working with brain. So if you go in advanced level, you're the deep learning. What the deep learning does, making connections with all those input you put, and it makes connection with the output, makes the various ways paths to find a correlation with your input and output and develop models. This is how our brain works too. So when we do more connection, more wiring, so we'll have a better understanding of things. And also at the same time, our senses will develop. In the past, I didn't understand what the experience means. I didn't understand what those subconscious things was. All those things we learn, our brain in the background is processing. Sometimes you find yourself giving an inspirational idea, creative idea. It doesn't come itself, it comes from all the learned things. That's how brain works too. If you have an experience in different areas, different fields, connecting different parts, you will have more creative solutions. That's what I see. I teach this. I mean, I've been teaching 20 years. I see how the students work too. And data science, if you're in new area, new field, this is perfect. You're rewiring your brain now for rewriting your future, better one. So data science is in a topic is on demand. And it is actually, in some cases, overrated, some cases underrated. It's just interesting. In what cases is it overrated? So everyone wants to be data scientist. And everyone can be data scientists, but it depends on your background. Some people can become in like a half a year. Some people can become in a couple of years. It depends on your background, for sure. And if you come from for natural sciences, if you have a good math background, engineering, physics, chemistry, maybe some biology, some statistics, you have a higher chance to learn better and grow faster. And the demand-wise, still a lot of companies don't understand the value of using data science. And some companies even hire, they know that there is a value, but they don't know what it is, which I like about it. So if you're a grocery store and you're just selling maybe $100 million sales, you have a lot of customers, and you just sell as a regular business. But if you hire data scientists and maybe your growth, your pattern, if you understand the patterns of customers, the products, they go well, maybe you increase your sales from 100 to 200 million, but you don't know. So a lot of companies, they realize that data science will give them something. And a lot of them hasn't realized it. Actually, surprisingly, even big companies, they don't understand the value of it much now. So it's growing in that sense. In another sense, it's growing, data is growing. In the social media, in medical area, I always give this example because I love it. In genomics technology, in the past, even around 2000 around 2000, there was a reward for the people uh, who can sequence the people's genome in, let's say, less than a year. And the first genome project were just done in 5 to 10 years in one full genome. Now you can sequence the genome in less than a year. That means you have a lot of data. You maybe have 8 billion people of data if you can sequence all of them. So there are other technologies. Sequencing doesn't tell you much, actually. There is a lot of other things in medicine. There is a proteomics, there is a epigenetics. All that should be factored in, and people don't know. So, like there is MRI images. There's now portable MRIs. You can get the MRI more often than we used to. And there is this home remote diagnostic devices. So I'm in more in healthcare. I give a lot of examples. But like when you go to social media, you have a crazy data has been produced there. In every new platform. And data is in text, data is in voice. There's a clubhouse and the people talk. And then people analyze those data there. And data in the videos and pictures. So that thing is gonna grow. And now in the business sector, in industry, then data science is undervalued. And that there will be more growth. In the public, I could say is overvalued because everyone thinks data science just easy. Everyone want to be data scientist. Yes, our goal is to make everyone as data scientist, but there is actually a good path you should take, and you gotta work hard, and you gotta take a good steps for it. So there's actually data science. I would call it the umbrella term. So data science is anything related to data. You may call it data science. Let's say I work with one project, we have a patient's data, and then there is 50 different parameters we have that. And then we wanna see these patients who comes to us if they have hypertension and that's related to their disease. They have cognitive decline, we wanna correlate with that have that disease. So anything just try to understand the data is data science, or working with the data science. And then you develop some patterns from. And then that goes to artificial intelligence and then machine learning. So you model something from it, okay? So you're saying that if patient comes to me, if this is hypertension, if BMI is in that range, if he's smoking, and you put that and you say that patient is 90%, you may figure out that 90% that patient has a disease called sarcopenia. So that's great. You can only learn with this data science. This is modeling this, giving a sophisticated models. It goes with machine learning and one level up called deep learning. So a lot of people nowadays, like they confuse deep learning with AI. But AI is a more umbrella term. But you can do more with the data without going deep learning algorithms. You can have a really simple algorithms to just see the patterns. So this is terminology is really mixed, but I call it data science in overall. But when you go to jobs, we call machine learning engineers. And they are specific, that's good. But some of the jobs they call data scientists, a lot of them look for machine learning engineers or AI engineers. So. And some companies hire for a machine learning engineer, but they don't have any machine learning job, which I've seen that even some people hire for a big companies, they got frustrated. They say, wow, we're doing simple data analytics and we got bored here. They really want to do some advanced algorithms. But yeah, companies want to always hire something better, but not necessarily you will use that. I know that people switching jobs because of they didn't like that much challenging. So industry-wise, I mentioned a lot of industries are using data science, and some is just getting into data science. And I am working in the healthcare space. There's tremendous data, as I mentioned earlier. And there is a lot of research is being now used in data science. A lot of research projects use data science in an industry and also in academics. There is a food industry, there's manufacturing, there's autonomous cars, there's finance. So as data growing and there's need growing, so they keep growing. And this is the data scientists by the industries. You would be surprised that a lot of those industries you see they should have a high rate, but they're not high in that. So what will be really surprising for me, let's say game industry. I will expect game industry really took a big chunk in that, but not. So I will expect consumer products is much higher rate than what it is, okay? So a lot of industries, they don't use the data science as much. It means there is a big growth space. According to McKinsey, in the next 20 years, there's 50 million data science position will open. And I can foresee that. The numbers they predict, they estimate, could be much more than that, to be honest. Because there's something that people say, oh, we're getting the robot century, robotics century, and AI century, and there won't be jobs. Yes, there are a lot of jobs will be gone, but there are new jobs will be open. So just to give an example, there wasn't a Google in 20 years back or 30 years back, no Amazon, no Google, okay, no Facebook. Now Google hires maybe 100, 150,000 people. Just based on the Google and search engine, and they have other things now. There's 100, 150,000 people working. So Amazon is a crazy employment there. So Facebook. So you can just count all the big companies, maybe 2 million people employed. So I don't know the all full industry. So jobs are replacing. And this job is one of the future jobs of the future. That's why even though you may or you may not want to be data scientist right away, it's good to have that skill set for future. So when you say data science, it goes in a lot of application, visualization. And so what I told you, like I did imaging. So I did work on cancer imaging. I did work in tissue imaging. And so those data are just critical, MRI images. So it goes into space of data science. And a lot of scientific methods, like I told you, finding fifth dimension, fourth dimension, we use data science methods, but we couldn't find it yet. We believe there is. And like statistical computing, statistical modeling, and data science got into a lot of data consulting as well. A lot of people do data consulting. They do have their own jobs. So it touches the various areas and various firms, data science. So it's bigger umbrella than what you think. One thing I like about data scientists and more than software engineering, yeah, experience matters, but a 5-year versus 20 years of data scientist experience is huge difference. Every year you work as a data scientist, you put on top of previous knowledge, and you need that. People need that. So that's why experience is the most matter here. Unlike some fields, they may hire new engineer, new scientists. They can do the same thing 20 years of engineer does. But data science is not that easy. So your value will keep growing. This is what I like about it the most. And So I'm coming to point you ask questions. Yeah, I will explain that. So data science is an intersection of many things, like software engineering. You didn't need to write the coding. You need to become software engineer. You need to develop algorithms. And you need to know math, stat, and algorithms. That's actually a prerequisite for us. Okay. Like we need people with a good math, stat background. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be good. And data communication. Data communication goes with a lot of things, like you need to have a data, and data comes with, if you're in healthcare, it comes from healthcare. If you're in education, it comes from there. So intersection of this many places. So that's why it is giving you multiple skill sets. It's interestingly, some big companies, they hire a software engineer, but what you see that they are doing data science. I have several friends in big companies, they do that. Software engineers hired, but they started the data science work. So as you become from data engineer to applied data scientist or ML engineer, what you do is really varying. So a data engineer, you do a little bit business or the domains understanding, but you do work with a lot with the data engineer. So have to take the data, structure it, putting in the cloud or whatever system you're using, and make it available for people or data scientists to access. And when you go to business intelligence, and then it doesn't require much machine learning, it requires to extract the data and just do visualization. Means that, like when I work with people, we have a data, we have a patient data on different things. Let's say I say we get a brain cancer patients, and I ask my data scientists that, can we visualize it in groups that which of these patients have BMI higher than this range? Which of patients have ages higher than that? Which of these patients have such different lifestyle? So we want to see the visualization that first, and it will just be enough to understand some things. You don't need to go model, and you can just get some results out of it. So a lot of business work like that. They just want you just understand the concept of business, understand the data, and derive some conclusion from data. And when you become data scientist in industry terms, and you input the machine learning there. So you do now correlation. Once you do some linear regression model saying that, oh, when BMR are higher, people have more sarcopenia disease. When when they smoke and they have a more chance of getting lung cancer. So you can derive such conclusion using machine learning models now. This is just one thing. So, and then you become research scientist, more expert, and more machine learning, and then more models learning. So it gives you an example. We have 50 parameters. Okay. And that 50 parameters for a doctor to make a conclusion from 50 parameters, which parameters which effective for that disease, it's just hard. You can only look at, I look at the BMIs and patients, and I look at the I look at those hypertension, if the patient has a hypertension, and I can correlate. But if you correlate this on 50 parameters, you cannot do it easily. So you can develop more models. Then you need to learn more models. So, and that's why this data science or machine learning will be more useful. I tell you, I work with a lot of doctors, and I call it medicine as a data science. I mean, they may or may not accept it. I give them an example. Why 20 years of doctors more, you prefer to go 20 years of experience doctor than 5 years or few years? Because 20 years have seen more patients, have seen more rare cases, okay? Have dealt with different things, and then for a few years of doctor. So I'm saying that in the AI, what I could do, I can stimulate what doctors did. I can collect data from maybe 100,000 patients all around the world. And then I can put in my machine learning algorithms and stuff. Not every disease or every medicine, certain ones. I can develop amazing models that will help the doctors. Eventually, we will need doctors to make the final decision. But what I want to put to doc in front of doctor, a better way of understanding the big collective data. So you can apply this to everywhere. So you become more advanced, you learn more diverse things, you learn more machine learning. And then you become more apply AI, ML engineer, you start to do a lot of programming. You do programming all of them, but you do get into more programming, more algorithms. When you learn data science, you will see that a lot of this algorithms is simple. You learn how to use tools with the codes. You don't develop as much as algorithms I used to develop as in like a particle physics. But as you go further and advance, you may have to develop your own algorithms too, which is good. So, okay, there's the questions I will explain at the end as you save enough time. I want to finish that content first. So what we need to start with linear algebra, probability and statistics as the key grounds to be data science. And then also we have actually a program, we teach that probability and statistics in our program. But that's the good start with math and probability stat. And then you go to learn programming. You need to have some programming language. It could be any language, Python, R. Since Python has become more popular, more libraries, more things, we go with Python. And then you become data analytics. You just understand, analyze the data. Just do really simple things. As I mentioned, that just do one-on-one, visualize that which patients have, let's say, do you have cancer patients? Which patient come from what kind of a background? And in terms of like an age or what kind of profile. So you can visualize that, you can analyze that. There's simple analytics. Then machine learning, and then advanced methods, deep learning. And then domain experience. To be honest, domain experience, if you come from engineering background, you have domain experience. If you come from science background, you have domain experience. And that will grow too. Domain experience grow in a way that how you approach the data. You understand the mindset of looking at data. In the past, as I was a biophysicist, I was understanding I was looking at things just only experimentally. Now I have an understanding of looking at it as a data science perspective. So your domain experience will grow and grow as you grow as a data scientist. And then there's two topics we also teach in our programs: NLP, natural language processing, and image processing. These are the two things that most companies actually hire, and you have a big leverage if you have the experience with it. And we teach that in our program as well. And then a lot of tools. There's really a lot of tools that it could sometimes overwhelming. But you shouldn't be overwhelmed. If you learn like a Python, you can very well learn any other language. Yes, there is some kind of a barrier, but you will eventually learn more easier. Second language will be easier than first one, and third will be easier than first one. So I learned like 15 languages throughout my academic and research or company life. And I learned in a way that if I have to do one thing, and I said, oh, I have to do better with C++, and I go learn C++. I know that MATLAB is great for some things and images. I learned MATLAB. And Python, great for so many things. I learned Python. So one language you learn, that's good to start, and then you'll be more comfortable learning others. Same as database, like if you learn SQL, you can just learn MongoDB and others so easily. Because more or less those things are similar understanding. It doesn't really much take to learn the second one because your learning curve, improves a lot when you learn. And all the other tools, we teach some of these tools in every part. And then this gives you insights that you can learn others. So as many as tools you have, and some tools may be enough for you to get a job. And like some people even get jobs with the SQL. I know a lot of people do that. So one tool may be enough if the companies use that a lot. But overall, we teach one tool for every part here. Okay, that's pretty much overview of how to become a data scientist. And I will talk about what we teach in our bootcamps. We have two bootcamps, full stack data science and mentorship bootcamp. So we have mentorship bootcamp. We're not offering now. We're doing offer full stack now. And in the full stack bootcamp, we teach all these different courses. So we have modules by module, like 15 weeks, every 5 weeks, we teach one module. Okay. And we teach SQL, Python, machine learning, NLP, stat math. Depends on the actual batches we accept. We tailor our program so to make it more productive and efficient. So there is a theoretical part. We teach good theory behind us and a lot of hands-on. We have several projects. Projects used to start in the third one, but we do it much earlier now. There is small project, but there is big main projects. So we teach a lot of projects with mentors. So there are instructors. You will have 46 different instructors. There are mentors and there are TAs. So you get to see a lot of people when you are in our bootcamp. And instructor-wise, we have really great people from Stanford, and we have people from Silicon Valley companies, and we have the faculty in different areas. So one of our faculty, for example, has written AI in finance books. He's very specialty in there. He has 3 books on that in O'Reilly. So, and we have people in Stanford, they work 15, 20 years in data science. And we have people from industry, they know the practical usage of data science. What we want to give is a different perspective because teaching is not easy for everyone. Some people good at teaching the theory, some people good at teaching hands-on. And so we provide you good live sessions. We have recordings, but we require people to attend the full stack program, full schedule. And then plus we have a coaching interview prep experience, career experience, because we have interview sessions, we have interview Q&A sessions, which are some of our faculty instructors going through the questions and answers for interviews. So getting a job is different than doing a job. We want to teach both because getting a job is like preparing for an exam, and you have to do every part well to pass the interview. But when you pass the interview, you should be able to do the job too. And I know people that they've been fired in the first few months because they did really good in the passing the interview, but they couldn't do the job. So we want to do the both. Eventually, we also believe that, if you learn how to do the job, interview will be easier too. So that's why we offer qualified students who pass the milestones. We offer also internships. So after that, we work with Stanford, we work with different companies, we put you on projects if you're still needing it. Actually, surprisingly, 1/3 of the students come to me, ask for a internship because 2/3 finds the job already. So there's also internship possibility if you continue, if you do well in the programs. We only require to just do the milestones, finish all those things, then you'll be able to eligible for internship and gives you extra strength for the job. Again, we have projects, mentors, and instructors, practice interviews, lectures, career coaching, interview Q&As, and resume support. So we connect people with our students with the recruiters as well to get better interviews. And okay, price-wise, there is something that this is the last time we offered that price. We've been waiting for an approval from state to change our prices because California state actually requires they have strict regulations on the charging more than 2,500. That's why we kept our cap in there. So we have $400 coupon for today. Then you can register for upcoming classes 2,100. And then income share agreement, if you want to pay later when you get the job, is $6,000. Again, in the new season, when we have the new batches in January, we are planning to increase our prices to minimum 7-8K range. This is probably the last time to get that kind of program in this price range. And okay, that is my last comments. Happy to answer your questions if you have any. And we have actually videos in our YouTube channel and testimonials and all that. Okay. So we heard the big tech are laying off people due to inflation and possible recession now. How does it affect the DSML hiring? While everyone is thinking it's a gold mine, I honestly admit it's easy to find people with DSML certificates, but hard to find people with actual good experience. This is a really good question, Philip. And actually, I listen also Powell Fed president. So there is a risk of recession, but still there's more jobs. One thing he mentioned that there's a lot of job openings still, not everyone's matching with every job. So there are more jobs are open. They will be always open. And some industries will continue to hire people. So especially the tech, and some tech won't go down, will go up. There's no way. Maybe it's 1 year or 2 year, maybe slow down in that, but they will be still hiring. In fact, in COVID time, we've seen that job hiring went down the third of in data science. We talked to recruiters, and still our students get hired. But now, after when I was telling students you should be ready for post-COVID, and I've seen a lot of students get the jobs right away, and the COVID just when it was going away. So regardless of that, I mean, there could be job delays and slow down, but you will still find a job. Let's say instead of 3 months, you may find it 5 to 6 months, but you will still find it. There will still demand. And what good thing with data science is, I know people working here, they have jobs in Europe, they have jobs in Canada, and vice versa. There's remote jobs that will be always available. Not every industry is capable of doing that. Because of the nature of the work, you don't have to be in certain place. So yeah, there's a concern, but this will concern, I mean, that will not decrease the availability in the job. The question about certificates, yes, I mean, certificates is easy. I get several certificates too. If you don't have a hands-on experience and project experience, it's just not useful. I've been in 5 universities. I've got several degrees and taken several courses. If you don't do a good project, it's just not going anywhere. That's why we give certificate, but we don't emphasize it as much. We just emphasize the other aspect of our programs. And why is income share agreement higher? Okay, there's something that the current rate we actually been using investment so far, and we were selling lower than what it cost us, all our programs. And that's why income sharing is the one that we want to charge the minimum. And we're taking the risk for it. That's why we keep the higher range, because if you don't get the job, we believe you'll get it. So, and we'll get the money later. So that's why we put that income sharing there. So income sharing is, you have to be in US, you have to be qualified for the job. I don't know if your background is. Cash, currently paying for the cash 2,100 with the discount. It was 2,500 with 400 discount, 2,100. And for the income sharing, what is the rate for annual pay? So we actually, if you get 45,000 and above, so you've just fallen the income share, you start to pay. And yeah, I think you pay the maximum 6,000, and before that you can pay from 10% of it. There is some kind of an agreement there. But most data science jobs is getting much higher than this range. That's why we put the cap there. So program starting this weekend, but this weekend will be slow start. You may still register late and start from the second week. We have all these recordings available, and we have TARs. We have office hours for the instructors. I'm looking at questions on the side here. Let me see. Once I answer. Okay, good. Another question. Bootcamp available. We have students all over the world, but only income share available here. That's why we choose the weekend morning programs, because we have students from all over the world. So you'll be able to register it. So we have a lot from Europe. Okay, next question. I will ask the team actually to share sample lecture with you. The currents are watching it. It's good. If you have all the skills, how do you get experience doing projects? So that's why we have all this project emphasis. That's why we give internship too. So just doing project internship, and that will give you. What is nice with data science more than others, whatever internship, whatever project, if there's good projects, it's just good elaborated projects, it is good, valid. We have people coming from biology major with a good math background. They get good jobs, even good companies. It's just, I think there's a lot of work on you that if you take this chance and work that well in short time, do a lot of projects, and if you do internship like with us, it'd be great. Let me say another thing. Are all lectures live or recorded? All the lectures are live. We also record those live sessions, but we require the attendance unless you have a very special case. Attendance are required. So, okay. Another question? Oh, I keep answering those, but okay. Okay, good. Good. Okay. Okay. I don't see any more questions, and happy to answer your questions later. Please let me know. And I hope this session is beneficial. Hope to see you in our future programs. Even though you don't register for the program, it's fine. You can attend our meetups. Take care.